This is beef and egg clay pot rice with ginger and green onions from Hoiping, China. We're going to have some of the famous clay pot rice here in Hoiping, China. So this is how they make the clay pot rice. We're constantly switching the bowls. Some bowls are cooked and some are not. So you add the ingredients that you want. Here's your saltfish and meat. Also a fast hot chicken. Today's recipe for the famous clay pot rice can be cooked on an electric stove or a gas stove in your home. To cook on an electric stove, you need a metal bracket so the clay pot doesn't touch the electric coil. Another tip, don't put an empty clay pot when the stove is turned on, otherwise the clay pot might break down. Put some water in the clay pot before you put it on the stove. For this recipe, if you want firmer rice, put 1 cup of water to 1 cup of rice. Most of the time, just fill the water to the water line of the clay pot. Set the stove at low to medium heat to bring the water to a boil. Never set the heat higher than medium for an electric or gas stove. So first you have 1 cup of rice here to make 1 serving. And then you rinse the rice in cold water. So once the water is clear, that means the rice is clean enough to use. This also removes some of the starches from the rice. When you see steam coming out of the hole, check to see if the water is boiling. Then add the cup of rice into the water. Make sure the rice is under the surface of the water. Cover the clay pot with a lid and cook the rice for 5 to 8 minutes at low to medium heat. The rice is looking good. Now add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil into the rice. Cover with the lid again and let the rice continue to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. Chop up half a cup of ginger and chop up half a cup of green onions. Stir fry for about 5 minutes in 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. Mix in half a teaspoon of salt and add a dash of sesame oil if you have any. You can prepare the ginger and green onion beforehand if you like. Now you're ready to take off the lid. Just check the rice first and then put the sliced beef on the rice. You can marinate the beef overnight in cooking oil for more tender beef. For this dish, you can use a cheaper cut of beef. I like to use cross rib or maybe chuck steak, which has a bit more fat in it. So make sure you marinate these cuts of beef. Generally, I like to use top sirloin steak, which is a little more tender to begin with. Then add 2 or 3 tablespoons of the ginger and green onion mixture on top of the beef. Make sure you spread it out well. This will add some nice flavor and fragrance. Now cover the lid again and continue to cook for another 5 minutes. We'll just check the beef to see how it's doing. It's pretty well cooked through, and there's a real nice fragrance. Now you're ready to put in the egg. So just make a little hole in the middle and make sure the hole is deep enough to put the egg in. Cover with the lid and cook for the final 10 to 15 minutes or slightly longer depending on the type of clay pot that you have. The moment that we have been waiting for. There you have it. Beef and egg clay pot rice with ginger and green onions. Enjoy.